مرحبا وأهلا وسهلا فيكم. This is Ibrahim with you. This episode is a very much weighted episode. I meant to do it, but just simply because of time and other commitments. Obviously, it's teaching. I don't do anything else. I teach full time. Is just trying to divide the time is a little bit tricky, but this is very much weighted tutorial. I meant to do it for everybody, so hopefully you could all benefit from. In today's lesson, we'll be looking at the active participle. What is the active participle? How do we use it? And why do we use it? How we conjugate it? But most importantly, we will get lots of examples for you so you could practice and use it. Don't forget to comment below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. So do please subscribe, let us know what you make of the channel. If you have any questions, if you have any requests, then please do ask and let me know. So what is the active participle? The active participle, it's the equivalent to the doer form in English, which is the er. So the active participle, it refers to a motion of action. That motion of action could have happened in the past or is happening now and would continue to the future, or this action is happening now and this would continue to the near present future, or is going to happen in the future. So it's really nice thing about the active participle, and the reason why we use it, because it has only 3 conjugations. So you would use one conjugation for I masculine, you masculine and he, and another conjugation for I feminine, you feminine and she, and a conjugation for we and you and they. So that's a nice thing about it, and the reason why it's used widely in spoken Arabic. Obviously, it's used in standard Arabic, but not as much as dialect. It's used widely, and I think sometimes students they say, okay, if we do use these forms as on the meaning of the present tense and the past tense, which we are going to have a look at it in a bit, and I will show you how. Then why do we go and learn the past tense and the present tense? I think this is a very much debated argument. Lots of people say, okay, well, if you use this, then I shouldn't know the past tense and you have to go through all the conjugation, as long as if you have one conjugation and could be used for 3 people. I think the main reason is just to increase your awareness, obviously, with the Arabic language system and how it's get conjugated and the logic behind it. But don't forget that lots of people equally would use the proper conjugation. So these are actually very much like fillers, so they don't use them most of the time. And you would hear a lot of people that actually use the present tense. So for example, the active participle from rah, which means to go, is rayah. Rayah, which means going, or going to do this action, so going to initiate this action. So for example, you could say أنا رايح الشغل, I'm going to work. أنا رايح الشغل, I'm going to work. And then you could equally say أنت رايح على الشغل, you are going to work. And most importantly, you could change it to question, so you don't really need to have an interrogative pronoun saying like, are you going to work? So you could say أنت رايح على الشغل, are you going to work? So all you need to do is just change the annotation and the pitch of your voice, which is great. So it's great because you don't really need to always use an interrogative form. Just change the pitch of your voice. And the other thing, you could say هو رايح. So you could use أنا رايح, أنت رايح, and هو رايح. So one conjugation could be used for 3 people. However, saying that, in spoken, lots of people they do go the conjugation. So for example, I would say أنا بدي روح, I want to go. أنا بروح, I go. أنا بروح كل يوم على الشغل الساعة 5. أنا بروح كل يوم على الشغل الساعة 5. I go every day to work at 5. So for that reason, the active participle is used, in my opinion, as a filler, where sometimes they nip and use 1 or 2, but mainly they rely on the conjugation. So that's why we do use the active participle sometimes just to use it because it's easy. But as I said, it's not used as a main verbal structure. ممتاز. So hopefully this gives you a bit of an idea about the active participle, but let's start and have a look at some of these active participles, how to put them in a past tense, and most importantly, to write some examples for you so you could use it and practice. And don't forget to write your comments below, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell icon so you would receive all the notifications as soon as we upload or I upload any new videos. But yes, don't forget to write your comments. Practice makes perfect. That is one of the things about Arabic. And always try to divide your time. And it's really important with Arabic that you study, for example, in the morning for maybe 2 minutes, in the evening for 2 minutes, lunchtime if you can. So the idea with Arabic, there are so many theories. As teachers, as theorists, as a grammarian, there are umpteens of theories. There's only one theory is going to work with Arabic, which is as little as often. But obviously, we do have lots of techniques. So with Arabic, as little as often. 2 minutes, 3 minutes is great. Even if sometimes if you listen to a podcast, all you need to just to kind of to listen and tune in. You don't really need to analyze the entire sentence. So when you listen, you scan and then you understand and you try to investigate the text further. And I think that's one of the things is just scan. While you listen, scan the vocabulary, just listen to it, just tune in without putting great emphasis that I need to memorize every single word in this podcast. Mumtaz. Now let's get down to our examples and to show you how the active participle is used. And now if we start looking at the active participle in Levantine Arabic and how do we use it, let's start. So what's the active participle or the participles in spoken Arabic? So the participles are actually verbs in English, but they are actually nouns or adjectives in Arabic. And do go and check one of my other tutorials talking about adjectives in spoken Arabic. One of the active participles are discussed there. The second one is the active participle is an action which took place in the past and as a result of which it reaches to the present tense and to the future. So it always refers to a motion of action and can be used to describe an action in the present tense. Let's see, we've got a couple of examples. So it says, أنا ساكن في لندن. أنا ساكن في لندن. I live in London. أنا رايح على الشغل هلا. أنا رايح على الشغل هلا. I'm going to work now. أنا لابس جاكيت أسود. أنا لابس جاكيت أسود. So these are all the active participles. So here we've got ساكن. So we've got here ساكن, رايح, and لابس. And all of them, they refer to a motion of action. They refer to an action which took a place in the past and as a result of which it reaches to the present and might go to the future tense or might go to the future. And as I said, so it's a motion of action that can be used to describe an action in the present tense, such as here, أنا ساكن في London. I live in London. Or أنا رايح. So it refers to an action happened in the past and as a result might continue to reach the present. So I'm going to. And أنا لابس جاكيت أسود. Okay, so again, as I said earlier, the active participle, or we call in Arabic ism al-fa'al, and it's the equivalent to the doer form in English, the er, like plumber, writer in English. It is a very common and important form in Arabic. It's actually used in both standard and colloquial Arabic, which is all of them, not only Levantine Arabic, but it's used more extensively in Arabic dialects. So as I said, it always refers to the doer of the action of which is involved, in the action. So if we've got the active participle of the verb, work, has the same meaning of worker or working. And here what we look at is the verbs that are made up of 3 letters. How do we conjugate the active participle out of it? So it's really simple and it's really a basic process, but let's get down to it and see how does it work. Okay, so the basic structure, how do we conjugate or make the active participle, which is here, out of a normal 3 trilateral root verb how do we conjugate that? So what do we say? Trilateral root, which means the basic letter verbs, which has three letters, such as katab, daras, سمع, نظر, شرب, لعب, عزف, and jalas. And if you want to make the active participle out of it, all you need to do, there are two steps. The first one, you'll add a long aleph after the first consonant. Okay, so this is the verb. You bring the verb, and all you need to do is just to add an aleph after the first consonant, so it becomes ka. And then the second step is to add a vowel e under the third consonant here, which is the T, and obviously here, because it's the second, so here now it's no longer the second, it's the third. So it becomes katib, and katib, which means writer or writing, could refer to an action in the past tense. So you could say, for example, أنا كاتبة العنوان في الإيميل. I wrote the address in the email. So katib, which means referred to I masculine. So katib, you, I masculine, I could use it, you masculine can use it, and he. And then equally, if you want to change it to feminine, the feminine, all you need to do is just to add the feminine case to the end of it. So basically, we deal with it very much as an adjective. And here, all you need to do is just to add the feminine case to the end of to the masculine active participle, not to the verb. We do not need to deal with the verb anymore because we've already changed it to active participle. But if you want to use the masculine, but if you want to use the masculine active participle, all you need to do is just to add the feminine case to the end of it. So you could say Sara katbe el-email. Sarah wrote the email, or Sarah writes the email. And if you would like to talk about a group of people, all you need to do is just to delete the feminine case and add in to the end of it if you want to describe or prescribe a number of people undertaking or doing this action. So for example, you could say John, Ahmad, Sarah كاتبين التقرير. تقرير, which means report. تقرير. تقرير. So yes, so you could say أنا كاتب التقرير. I am writing the report. أنا كاتبة التقرير. I am writing the report. Sarah talking. نحن, we. نحن كاتبين. We are writing. So this form is really important, essential, useful, and easy to memorize as long as you know how to conjugate it first. And here we said from three trilateral root verb, all you need to do is just add an aleph after the first consonant and then add short vowel e under the second consonant here. So we've got the letter T, so it becomes katib, writer, and then daras becomes daris, سمع, to hear, and heard is سامع. نظر, looked or to look. ناظر, looked or looking. شرب is to drink, so it's the verb. And شارب is drinking. So you could say اليوم أنا شارب قهوة كتير. Today I drank lots of coffee. So اليوم أنا شارب قهوة كتير. And then we've got لعب, playing. لعبة, female, playing. لاعبين, group of guys playing. عازف, playing an instrument. You could say الأسبوع الماضي أنا عازف مع مجموعة. الأسبوع الماضي أنا عازف مع مجموعة. Last week I played with a group of people. أنا عازفة. So you would use it to describe a feminine, and عازفين to a group of people. جالس, which means sitter. Obviously we can't say sitter is sitting. So you could say أنا جالس جنب الشباك. I'm sitting by the window. جالس جنب الشباك. And the feminine would say أنا جالسة. And if you and friend waiting for other friends, so you say نحن, we are. نحن جالسين, we are sitting. نحن جالسين جنب الشباك, we are sitting beside the window, let's say. Now we know how to conjugate the active participle out of three-letter root verb, such as كتب, سمع, and obviously you've got lots of other verbs. And you could as well give it a try to practice, and don't forget to comment below and let us know what you make there and how did you get on. So all you need to do is just add aleph after the first consonant and then add vowel e under the third consonant. So it becomes katib, daris, سامع, ناظر, شارب, لاعب, عازف, جالس. Here we've got a couple of examples for you. So it says أنا كاتب كل شي بالإيميل. أنا كاتب كل شي, everything بالإيميل. I wrote everything in the email. And here we've got أنا دارس تاريخ الشرق الأوسط. أنا دارس تاريخ الشرق الأوسط. I studied the history of the Middle East. But obviously, if Sarah is talking, Sarah would add just vowel R to the end of the masculine. And she would say, أنا دارسة. أنا دارسة. And if a group of people conjugating this, we say we studied, instead of أنا, you would add نحنا, نحنا, which means we. So you could say نحنا دارسين. نحنا دارسين تاريخ الشرق الأوسط. And then you would say أنا شارب شاي وقهوة من شوي. أنا شارب قهوة. أنا شارب شاي وقهوة من شوي. شكرا. So I drank tea and coffee a moment ago. Thanks for asking. So شارب, which means I drank. But you see, sometimes people, they find it really difficult to say, you know, the time of the action isn't clear. Then all you need to do is just to add some of these adverbs. So you could say امبارح, yesterday. You could say قبل ساعة, before an hour. Or من شوي, a while ago. So you could add the adverb for time to specify when this action had happened, or you could talk about the future tense by adding an adverb which would refer to the future tense. So for example, you could say الأسبوع الجاي, next week. بعد يوم, after a day. بعد شهر, after a month. بعد أسبوع, after a week. And here we've got رفيقي لاعب فوتبول بالدوري الإسباني. So رفيقي لاعب فوتبول بالدوري الإسباني. My friend is a football player in the Spanish league. So you could use that as well. So لاعب actually means football player. So, but here it could mean both, which means like playing the Spanish league, or could be he's a player. So it actually depends on the meaning, and all you need to do is just to specify what do you mean. And now, how do we make the active participle out of the hollow verbs? What do you mean by hollow verbs or middle weak? So the middle weak or hollow verbs in Arabic, there are, every verb has or contains the long Aleph in the middle. So we've got nam, al, antar, and qad, which means to lead. So if you want to make it to the active participle, you have to add a glottal stop and just add accent E to the end of it. So you could say na'im, na'im, and na'ima, and na'imin. Okay. But remember that this R is pronounced actually an E. So you would say na'im, na'ime, and na'imin. So that's one of the reasons in spoken they tend to replace some of these letters with another easier one to pronounce. So instead of saying na'im, they say na'im, and they use it a lot. So for example, if you're asking about a colleague, you would say when Ahmad, where is Ahmad? You get people would say, or his mom would say, or his sister, or his wife, or anybody else. You'd say huwa na'im, he's sleeping. So huwa na'im, hiya na'ime, she's sleeping, and henna na'imin. And ayil, he's saying. So shu ayil, what did he say? Shu ayil, ayle, and Eileen saying. طاير, so you could ask somebody امتى طاير, when are you flying, امتى طاير لبيروت, when are you flying to Beirut. طايرة and طايرين, we are a group of people flying. So for example, you could say نحن طايرين للمغرب بعد أسبوع, we are flying to Morocco in a week. And قايد and قايدة and قايدين, who's leading, mean who's driving. But I would stick to the first three one as they are very much used in spoken Arabic. And the final one, I'm not really sure, but it actually depends. You might be able to use it more than me. Okay, then how do we change the active participle and put into the past tense? All you need to do is just to pick any of these verb to be's and follow them up with the active participle. So we've got كنت, I was. أنت كنت, you were. أنت كنتي, you were. feminine, نحن كنا, we were. أنتو كنتو, هو كان he was, and هي كانت she was, and هن كانوا they were. So for example you'd say أنا كنت نايم. I was sleeping. أنا كنت نايم في البيت. I was sleeping at home. And you could say أنت كنت نايم, and you could say هو كان نايم, he was sleeping. So one of these conjugations could be used for three people, could be used for I masculine, you masculine, and he, and equally the feminine as well could be used for I feminine, you feminine, and she. And naimin could be used for we, they, and you group of people. All you need to do if you want to change it, be very precise that about an action had happened in the past tense. All you need to do is just to use and precede the active participle with one of these verb to be. So you say كنت, or أنت كنت, أنت كنتي, نحن كنا, أنتو كنتو, هو كان he was, هي كانت she was, and هن كانوا they were. And then follow it up with the appropriate active participle. So for example you could say, أنا كنت طاير الساعة 5 بس هلا مو مبين. I was supposed to fly at 5, but now I'm not really sure, it's not clear, مو مبين. And some of you might say, well, how about verbs that actually starts with an Aleph? How do we make the active participle out of a verb? Starts with an Aleph. So we've got three important verbs here for you, and we'll conjugate them and see how do we conjugate the active participle, the singular masculine, the singular feminine, and the plural. So we've got the verb akal, which means to eat, akal. So we've got akil. All you need to do is just add an extra r sound to the beginning of it, and then that's the active participle. So you could say akil, akle, aklin. So you could say أنا آكل الساعة 5. I ate at 5. So akil, yeah, that's how you would use it. For somehow, I feel like most people do really struggle with making this into the present tense or to the future. So that's why the kind of lots of people they do struggle using this. For example, you would rarely hear somebody saying أنا آكل بكرة. I've really struggled to kind of to see it, and I don't think anybody will be able to use it as well. But we do have this like asif, so it's a phrase used as a phrase. Asif sorry, asfe female sorry, asfin a group of people. And then we've got akhd, which means taking, akhde, akhdin. So for example, you could say شو الساندويشة akhd, what the sandwich you taking, for example. Or if you're talking to feminine, شو أخذ أغراض معك, what stuff have you taken with you. Or you could say for example شو أخذ هدايا معك, what gifts have you taken with you. So شو أخذ, and then أخذين is you would use a group of people. So you could say نحن أخذين أغراض كتير معنا, we are taking lots of stuff with us. So أغراض, which means like things or stuff or items. And here we've got an example for you. You could say أنا كنت أخذ كتابه يوم الخميس. I had taken his book on Thursday, so I had taken his book on Thursday. Great, and here we've got a list with one of the most used active participles in spoken Arabic that are one of the most used ones. And if you memorize them and be able to use them and how to use them, that would be fantastic. So we've got sakin, which means living, and shayif, seeing, rayih, going, jay, coming, مسافر, traveling, nayim, sleeping, kharij, leaving, and raja is returning. And equally, if you want to change it to feminine, all you need to do is just add the feminine case to the end of all of them, which is pronounced either a or a. So you could say وين ساكنة هلا, where do you live now. You could say شو شايفة بكرة, or مين شايفة بكرة, who are you seeing tomorrow. Or you could say وين رايحة في لبنان, where are you going to Lebanon. Or you could say إمتى جاية من لبنان, what time you're coming from Lebanon. Or for example, you could say إمتى مسافرة, what time you're sleeping, what time you're traveling, إمتى مسافرة, and so on. And then if you would talk to a group of people or use it to prescribe or describe a group of people undertaking action, all you need to do is just to add the in sound to the end of it. So you could say ساكنين, شايفين, رايحين, جايين, مسافرين, نايمين, خارجين, and راجعين. So these are the active participle, and the active participle, as you see, has only 3 conjugations. We've got a couple of examples for you. So we've got أنا فاهم اللي أنت بتقول. أنا فاهم اللي أنت بتقول. I understand what you're saying. هي نايمة الساعة 5 المساء. هي نايمة الساعة 5 المساء. She's sleeping at 5. حاطط الصورة فوق الطاولة. حاطط الصورة فوق الطاولة. I've put the picture on the table. أنا مسافرة لبيروت بكرة. I'm traveling to Beirut tomorrow. أنا مسافرة لبيروت بكرة. We've got a couple of vocabularies for you. So we've got مطعم, مطعم, مطار, مطار, دكان, دكان, مستشفى, مستشفى, سوق, بحر, مكتب بريد, كنيسة, مسجد. تعال, come in or come. تعالي if you're talking to a woman. تعالوا if you're talking to a group of people. الصبح in the morning. الظهر in the afternoon. المساء in the evening. بعدين next, later, then. شوي little bit, slowly. لسه not yet, still, and bas, which means only or enough. If one of these vocabulary are new, all you need to do is just to write them down to your scrapbook, and when you try to make some of the sentences, hopefully these vocabulary would be beneficial. They are picked carefully, so try to write them down, and maybe you could see if you could use them with your sentences when you try to make. And here we've got further examples for you, and see how do we use the active participle. بكرة الصبح نحن مسافرين للمطار. بكرة الصبح نحن مسافرين للمطار. انتي رايحة معي للمطعم. انتي رايحة معي للمطعم. Instead of saying انتي بتروحي معي للمطعم. So instead of using the present tense conjugation, you could use the active participle here. أنا مش شايف أحمد من سنة. I have not seen Ahmad a year ago, since 1 year ago. أنا دارس تاريخ في سواس, School of African and Oriental Studies. الظهر نحن راجعين للبيت. We are returning home in the afternoon. أنا خارج للنادي هلا. I'm going to the gym now. أنا لابس قميص أحمر. أنا لابس قميص أحمر. I'm wearing a red shirt. تعبان شوي. تعبان شوي. أنا أخذ برد. I'm a little bit sick. I caught a cold. More examples. أنا رايح للمدينة بكرة. I'm going to the city tomorrow. نحن مسافرين سوا للشغل. نحن مسافرين سوا للشغل. نحن مسافرين سوا للشغل. We are traveling together for work. هي ساكنة جنب المحطة. هي ساكنة جنب المحطة. She's living beside the station, next to the station. أنا شايفة أحمد بعد أسبوع. أنا شايفة أحمد بعد أسبوع. So I'm seeing Ahmad in a week. أنا أكل من شوي. أنا مش جوعان. I ate a while ago. I'm not hungry. نحن ناظرين بالموضوع والمشروع ممكن. We're looking into the subject and the project is possible to happen. نحن ناظرين بالموضوع والمشروع ممكن. نحن دارسين سوا بنفس الجامعة. We study together at the same uni. نحن دارسين سوا بنفس الجامعة. أنا سامع ضجة من بيت الجيران. أنا سامع ضجة من بيت الجيران. ممتاز. Now I would like you to read and translate these, both the question and the answers. Let's start and use these active participles. So it says, وين ساكن أنت? And he says, أنا ساكن في شارع الترين في لندن. And the translation is, where do you live? And here it says, I live at the train station street in London. Always try to pause before I say it and the answer is, so you could try and guess, and then play the video back again, see whether you got it right or not, and keep practicing. وين ساكنة إما؟ إما ساكنة في لندن كمان. And the translation is, where does Emma live? Emma lives in London as well. وين سارة وجون ساكنين؟ هن ساكنين في شقة 10. Where does Sarah and John live? They live in flat number 10. إمتى رايح على لبنان؟ أنا رايح بعد شهر. And the translation is, when are you going to Lebanon? I'm going in a month, after a month. سارة مسافرة هذا الشهر. سارة مسافرة هذا الشهر؟ لا، هي مسافرة الأسبوع الجاي. And the translation is Sarah traveling this week? No, she's traveling next week. انتوا مسافرين للبحر اليوم؟ نحن مسافرين بكرة الصبح. And the translation is, are you traveling today to the sea? We are traveling tomorrow morning. أنت رايح لمكتب البريد؟ أيوة، شو بدك؟ And the translation is, are you going to the post office? Yes, what do you need? What do you want? وين رايحة المساء؟ أنا رايحة المساء مع رفيقتي سارة للسينما. And the translation is, where are you going in the evening? Meaning, what are you doing? What are you up to in the evening? And she replies, in the evening, I'm going to the cinema with my friend Sarah. Great. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed it and had a great time learning some Arabic and learning this new structure in spoken Arabic. Don't forget to share it with your colleagues so they could as well benefit from learning this as much as you do. Do let me know if you have any questions or anything. I'll be more than happy to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a lovely day. Ma salama.